Hello students, in this video we will try to cover a more portion of first law of thermodynamics, especially the applications of first law of thermodynamics. I will proceed a little faster because the very little physics is involved with this lecture. Only you have to do some numerical and mathematics to understand the basic tools of physics and basic laws of physics, and I will try to share you the class note or the photocopy of the book I am following. Then you will be able to understand or able to learn some new applications of first law of thermodynamics. Let me start from the very beginning. As we have discussed the last day, that the first law of thermodynamics that can be written as dq equals to du plus p dv, and we told and discussed last day already that dq is being a non-exact differential, but du and dv, these are exact differentials, so they can be considered as the function of different state variables. So for the sake of physics and for simplicity, let us first assume the first term, this is exact differential du, to be a function of t and v. So what I am considering first, that the first function, that is u, it to be a function of t and v, that is temperature and volume. So if they are exact differential, you can write it in the form du equals to del u del t constant v dt plus del u del v constant t dv, in this form. And let me give it equation number 1 and this to be equation number 2. And now if we substitute the value of du in the first equation, substituting this value of du in the first equation, you will now get from this equation, you can write dq equals to, substitute the value of du, that is del u del t constant v dt plus del u del v constant t dv plus another term p dv, which was already there in the equation 1. So here is dv, here is dv, this term can be taken common, so it will be written as du dt constant v dt plus a second bracket, then del u del v constant t plus p bracket close dv. It can be written in this form. Now we are considering that the process is isochoric process, and in the isochoric process, as you know, the volume will remain constant. So I am considering, you can make it equation number 3, or I am considering it to be isochoric process. And for isochoric process, as you know, v equals to some constant, so dv, that will be equals to 0. So if you consider now the equation 3, it is following some isochoric process or undergoing some isochoric process, then in this equation you can put dv equals to 0. So if dv equals to 0, the term within the second bracket, that is the second term, will vanish. So you can write only the term as dq equals to delta u del t constant v dt. Constant v for isochoric processes, it is already constant v, so no problem with this term. So I can rewrite this as dq dt at constant v equals to del u del t at constant v. So this gives you nothing but cv, where cv being the heat capacity at constant volume. So from the first law of thermodynamics, applying some simple tool, you can derive the value of this, maybe equation number 4, you can derive the value of heat capacity at constant volume. Similarly, if we now start, similarly you can consider that the other function which was there, the v is also a function of other two state variables. Suppose it is a function of t and h, you will get another relationship, and so on. You have to keep on trying. And from equation 1 again, if I again consider that this term, this u is now a function of temperature and pressure. So from the equation 1 again I am considering the exact differential u, it is a function of T and P. So what would have been the difference between equation 3 and the new equation? The new equation will be now, the V will be substituted with P, so the new equation will now become del u del T at constant P. Just I am putting the value of du in equation 1. If I consider u is a function of T and P, I am taking the exact differential, getting the value of du. I am not calculating that, I am calculating it in mind and putting directly the value of du in equation number 1. So the value of du will be del u del T constant P dt plus del u del P constant T dP. And the second term, the second term P dV, that can be written as P into del V del T at constant P dt plus del V del P at constant T dP, like that. So you can give it equation number 5, and now in the equation 5 you are considering that it is isobaric process. If you ask me that why I am considering that, this is, I have already derived the value of Cv, that is the specific heat capacity at constant volume. I want to now achieve the relationship of heat capacity at constant pressure, that is Cp. That is why I am considering isobaric process. In isobaric process, as you know, that P will be equals to constant, that is dP, that will be equals to 0. Now if you put in the equation 5 dP equals to 0, you will derive the equation of Cp, where Cp stands for dq dt at constant P, and its value will be equals to del u del T at constant P. That is, all the terms which are not related to dP, they will remain, and the terms which related to dP, this will vanish, this term, this will vanish, and other terms will remain, and dt is coming bottom of dq. So du dt at constant P, another term will be del V del T at constant P. Look, all the terms are with a constant P, that is the standard norms for isobaric process. And here we got for isochoric process, the volume was constant and dV, the exact differential, the dV was 0. So from equation 4, and we can write it equation 6, we are getting the value of Cp and Cv in terms of the state variables, and starting from first law of thermodynamics. So this is one simple application of first law of thermodynamics, and also with some simple calculation from first law of thermodynamics, we can get the value of the latent heat expansion, or latent heat expansion for constant volume and also for constant pressure. How to get that? First we can consider that we have already considered the processes once it is isobaric, in another equation we have considered it is isochoric, and if we consider instead of these two, the system is isothermal. For isothermal, you know T equals to constant and the value of dt will be equals to 0. Okay, so now from equation 3 and 4, if I now go to equation 3 and equation 4, In equation 3 I am putting the value of dt equals to 0 and trying to calculate the value of and putting the value of CV here. What should I get from equation 3? Not 3 and 4, 3 and 5. This is equation 3 dq. Equation 5 is also with dq. So equation 3 and 5. 3 and 5. From equation 3 and 5 I will get once. In equation 3 if we put the value of dt equals to 0, so this first term will vanish. We will get dq dv at constant t. It will be simply equals to p plus del u del v at constant t, and it is nothing but LV, that is latent heat expansion at constant volume. Similarly, from equation 5, in equation 5 here, if you put dt equals to 0, this term will vanish, this term will vanish, other terms will remain there, and you will get the value of dq dp, that is rate of change of q with pressure, that will be equals to del u del p at constant t plus del v del p at constant t, and it will be written as LP. What is LP? Latent heat expansion at constant pressure. Here also you can give it equation number 7 and this to be equation number 8. So till now no physics is involved here, only simple mathematical calculation, and slowly we are getting the values of Cp, Cv, Lp, Lv, etc. Let us try something more. And keep it in mind, the equation we have derived till now from equation 1 to equation 8 all will be required in our future calculations. Now if we consider that from equation 7, 8 and 1, look what equation 7 and 8 was all about. Equation 7 and 8 was all about latent heat expansion at constant pressure and constant volume, and equation 1 was the standard expression of first law of thermodynamics. So if you now put the value of LV and LP in the expression dq equals to du plus p dv here, you will get once dq equals to, in terms of Cv and Cv dt plus Lv dv, and also you can get it like dq equals to Cp dt plus Lp dp. You can give this equation number 9 and equation number 10. I hope you understood it. Instead of du I am putting the value, instead of dv I am putting the value, instead of this du I am putting the value, instead of p I am putting the value. In terms of Cp and Lv, here Cp and Lp. If you look at the expression for Cp, Cv and Lv, if you put it here, if you try putting it here, the expression of Cv and expression of Lv here, you will see that other terms will cancel out and you will get back to equation number 1. This is very simple. Now we can get the difference of the term Cp minus Cv, and we can try it for real gas, for van der Waals gas, anything. How to get it? First you have to write down the value of Cp, then you have to write down the expression for Cv. Just you have to simply subtract it, knowing the process of differentiation. Let me write Cp first. Cp equals to dq dt at constant P, and you have already seen the expression like du dt at constant V plus P plus del u del V at constant T, bracket close, then del V del T at constant P. This was the value of Cp we have already calculated, and now this can be written as Cv plus this term P plus del u del V at constant T del V del T at constant P. So simply Cp minus Cv, that will be equals to this term within the second bracket, like that. So what I have done here, I have just rearranged some functions. I have taken some terms common according to my requirement. I have kept this value of del u del T at constant V outside the calculation so as to get the value of Cv. After that, I have taken other terms as the second term, which will be remaining till the end of the calculation, giving you the value of Cp minus Cv like this. And finally the value of Cp minus Cv you are getting here is P plus del u del V at constant T, bracket close, then del V del T at constant P. It's very simple. Now the thing is that the first term in the bracket on the right hand side gives you the amount of work done in pushing back the surrounding at a constant pressure, while the second term tells you how the internal energy changes with volume. This term del u del V, internal energy changes with volume, being associated with the work done against the intermolecular force. So from that calculation also, if you give it equation number, we can give this one equation number 11 and this to be equation number 12, and for that calculation also you can get the coefficient of volume expansion or volume expansivity. If you write the volume expansivity is written as beta, so it can be expressed as 1 by V del V del T, that is rate of change of volume by original volume. And if you put this in equation 12, you will get Cp minus Cv, that will be equals to Cp minus Cv, that will be equals to P plus del u del V at constant T, bracket closed, then beta dV, where beta is the volume expansion coefficient. It is called volume expansivity. So this can be written as LV beta V. And what is LV? LV is the latent heat expansion at constant volume. We have already derived this equation, and you can see this term is nothing but LV. So you can give it equation number 13. So you have seen, again we are playing with the equations. Just you have to keep it in mind that what was the expansion for Cp, Cv, LV, LP, etc. Unless you commit all the formula, it will be difficult to calculate yourself. So let us proceed again. Let us consider that we are taking one example, let us try it for perfect gas. We are taking the perfect gas as example and trying to calculate the value of Cp minus Cv. So the perfect gas equation, as you know, it is equals to PV equals to RT, and you can calculate that P, then del V del T at constant P, that will be equals to R. So you can calculate the value of Cp minus Cv, that will be equals to R. This is for a perfect gas. And if this is for 1 mole of gas, if n mole of gas is present here, you will get Cp minus Cv equals to n into R. You can make it equation number 14, and this is 14a, or I am making this both as 14, equation number 14. But life will not be so simple always. You have to try out now some complicated calculations with the knowledge you have gathered till now. Let us now try one real gas as example, and let us consider van der Waals gas equation. The van der Waals gas equation, as you know, is equals to P plus A by V square into V minus B equals to RT. This is the van der Waals gas equation. In the van der Waals gas equation, if you calculate the value of del U del V at constant T, you will get it A by V square, and if you put the value in equation 12, in 12 we have seen the expression for Cp minus Cv. You will reach out to equation like RT by V minus B is equals to del V del T at constant P. We can make it equation number 15 now. And differentiation of this van der Waals gas equation and everything, I am not going in detail of the calculation, but one interesting part I would like to show you. The interesting part is that if you now plot a graph of this Cp minus Cv by R in y-axis for my this perfect gas equation, the calculation was Cp minus Cv was equals to R. So if we take the value of Cp minus Cv by R, that was equals to 1. So in this direction, if we plot now V, the equation would have been like a straight line parallel to x-axis. This for perfect gas. Now for van der Waals gas, from this expression, for expression 15, if you plot the graph will be like this one, and it will be after a certain value twice B. Then after V crossing over the value of twice B merges slowly towards the perfect gas equation, unless it would have been different in nature if we plot the Cp minus Cv by R in y-axis and V in x-axis. In exams, often you will be asked to explain this type of equations and the graph or disparity between the perfect gas and van der Waals gas equation. Let us proceed further. Two more things to see today. One is elasticity of perfect gas. Now I will be not showing you the steps of calculation. I try to make you understand most of the things, as much as practicable for me. E, if you calculate the elasticity, or I am considering the volume expansion, so the expression for E will be given by as bulk modulus, that is volume stress by volume strain. Volume stress by volume strain, and you can write it as minus of delta P is the volume stress divided by volume strain minus V divided by V. Negative sign indicates that if you increase the pressure, the volume will go on decreasing. So you can write it as minus V del P del V. So from any gas equation, if you are able to calculate the value of del P del V, putting in this equation, let it be equation 17, it will be easy to calculate the elasticity of any gas. So let us first consider that I am considering adiabatic elasticity and isothermal elasticity separately. For an adiabatic case, it is written as ES. The expression will be minus of V del P del V at constant S, and for isothermal elasticity it will be written as ET will be minus of del P del V at constant T. What S here stands for? S stands for entropy. So if you take the ratio of ES to ET, you will get del P del V at constant S divided by del P del V at constant T, the ratio of adiabatic and isothermal elasticities. So now if you consider that T is a function of T, that is a function of V and P, you can easily calculate the value of dt. Dt will be equals to del T del V at constant P dV plus del T del P at constant V dP, like that. Now if you consider isothermal process, for isothermal process dt will be equals to 0, and you will get the ratio that del P del V at constant T temperature will be equals to minus of del T del V at constant P divided by del T del P at constant V, like this. So if you now go back to your equation 3 and equation 4, that is where we derive the expression for Cp and Cv, you will remember that we got the equation of equation 3 like that: dq equals to Cv dt plus P plus del U del V at constant T bracket close dV, and after equating all this thing you will get dq by Cv will be equals to dt plus gamma minus 1 into del T del V at constant P dV, where gamma was equals to Cp by Cv. Similarly, if you consider some adiabatic case, you will reach to an equation If you consider adiabatic case, the value of dq will be equals to 0 for adiabatic process, and if you are getting dq equals to 0, you will get the relation del p del v at constant s will be equals to minus of gamma del t del v at constant p divided by del t del p at constant v. So what I'm trying to say that you are getting actually Es by Et equals to gamma as you got in case of Cp by Cv. So Es by Et, that is the elasticities in adiabatic and isothermal processes, and the ratio of specific heat with constant pressure and constant volume gives you identical results. But if you are not dealing with the ideal gas equation and you are trying to calculate with some adiabatic change where the gas equation is p v to the power gamma equals to constant, where gamma equals to Cp by Cv, then after a bit calculation you will reach to the result Es by Et equals to gamma it will be S prime actually, and this will be equals to Cp by Cv. Yes, I have written is that Es prime just to separate the two different gas equations. That is, once you are calculating for ideal gas and for another time you are calculating for perfect gas. Once, as I have written Es, in the new case I am writing it as in function of E prime, and the equation will be like that. Last thing of the day, you can also calculate the value of or expression for enthalpy. Enthalpy is expressed in thermodynamics with capital H, and considering U as a function of T and P, you will get the exact differential du as del U del T constant P dt plus del U del P constant T dP, like that. And from first law of thermodynamics, if you put the values, you will get dq equals to del U del T at constant P dt plus del U del P at constant T dP plus P dV. Now you take some functions common and consider it to be a process with P equals to constant, that is dP equals to 0. You will get the value of Cp, where Cp stands for dq dt at constant P, and now the expression for Cp will be del T of U plus P dV whole second bracket constant P. This term within the parenthesis is expressed as H. So H will be equals to U plus P. It will be U plus PV, not dV, PV. U plus PV. I am rewriting it. Term within first bracket H equals to U plus PV. This is expressed mathematically as enthalpy. The enthalpy is often encountered in flow process, and we shall come back to this enthalpy later on while we will be going through the Joule-Thomson effect or this JT effect. And in this case you can also write the value of Cp as del H del T at constant P, if you put the value of this H here. So that is all for today. The next day we will see some more applications of first law of thermodynamics and try to round it up and then go towards some numerical problems. But one thing I want to repetitively tell you, that thermodynamics is a very little portion of physics is involved with it, though it is a whole, it is also physics, it is of course physics, but not like that you are trying some theory, you are reaching to a beautiful result. In thermodynamics all the relationships are related to each other to some extent, so you have to keep it in mind that always some standard equations should be committed, that the expression for Cp, Cv, Lv, Lp, first law, second law, enthalpy, Es, Et, all these things, perfect gas, real gas, van der Waals gas, you have to remember those, you have to try it at home, you have to keep on practicing and you have to memorize. Then the process of calculation will be very easy in thermodynamics. You have to identify one particular equation and try to identify its simplified form. So keep on practicing. I hope you enjoyed the previous video and have connected yourself with this new video, and cover it up within 2 or 3 days. After 2 or 3 days I will try to upload the next video. Thank you for the day.